There's a new TWAB cross. What? A new TWAB today on a Tuesday? You mean like a hotfix update? Oh, hold on. Hotfix time. Oh, yes. All right, Destiny 2 Hotfix 4.0.0.4. This is supposed to be a really good one, fellas. Activities, Throne World, fixing networking issues that could cause the destructible Pyramid Crux object used in many activities to desync state between client and host, causing several issues and confusing players. Fixing an issue where a third altar could unintentionally be active on a map for a short period. All right, Vow of the Disciple. Fix an issue where an unintentional symbol could appear where one of Rook's attacks met the environment's geometry. Fix an issue where players could earn a lore entry while only standing in front of one of the two symbols. Fix an issue where players could shoot symbols to pass the kill symbol check for the lore entry. Fix an issue where players could disrupt the caretaker mid-wipe performance. Oh yeah, is that where he would like get stunned? Yeah, is that what they're... Fix an issue where players could complete the caretaker encounter and the activity would not progress. Oh, dude, that would have been terrible day one. Fix an issue where Rook's encounter would be soft locked if players spread leeching force as their final deposit occurs. Also, if multiple people got leeching force. Wow. Fix an issue where players could leave raid banners up by planting them as the encounter begins. Y'all remember that? We tried to bug it out because we wanted to get multiple things of heavy ammo. Fix an issue where players could earn multiple lore entries by reloading checkpoints. Okay. Witch Queen campaign. Fix an issue where players could circumvent death in the legendary campaign mission by leaving the fire team and then rejoining. Players that join in progress now require a revive. Fix an issue preventing replayable nodes in the Witch Queen campaign from appearing on the Throne World map for a small portion of players. Fix the display possible rewards for legend difficulty for the ghosts to include Ascended Alloy. Okay. PsyOps Battleground. Fix an issue where champions were inconsistently spawning in the PsyOps Battlegrounds. Some general fixes. Fix an issue where some items were being highlighted as new incorrectly, which had a negative impact to performance. Fix an issue where general game performance could stutter and drop frame rates while character inventory UI was loading. Thank God. Y'all been having that? I get like 15 frames whenever I go into my inventory or check out my gear. Investments. All right, here's the big one. Fix an issue that was causing Gambit weapon and armor focusing to cost more than expected. Focusing now costs 10,000 glimmer and 50 legendary shards each. Rouse destination materials now are sold for a stack of 5 for 1 legendary shard, matching Spider's previous exchange rates. Fix an issue that was still allowing weapon telemetries to drop. Players can safely delete all weapon telemetries from their inventories as they no longer have any use and will not be used in the future. Also, fix an issue where a Vanguard bounty, the harder they fall, could only be progressed in strikes. Fix an issue where the Mega Catalyst boost was rewarding 3 times progress instead of 4 times. I love how that's done after we've already gotten the catalyst. Fix an issue where the legendary campaign emblem, a Higher Truth, could not be equipped on platforms where the player doesn't own the Witch Queen. Players who found themselves unable to unlock or acquire a light subclass should now be able to do so. Players should find the associated pursuits in their inventory when first entering orbits, with space remaining for the associated pursuits. Fix an issue where the Ritual of the Season Triumph could be progressed with PvE kills outside of the Vanguard playlist. Fix an issue where the seasonal quest steps could be blocked if players had reached the Sonic Intel inventory limits. Yeah. Okay, so that's been fixed. The seasonal quest steps, even if you're already at the inventory limit, so you don't have to delete the stacks anymore. Okay, that's good. That's good. Fixed an issue where Nightfalls were giving inconsistent reputation bonuses when reaching platinum score. Some strikes will now reward additional reputation while others will reward less. Now, weapon crafting. This is the biggest change today. Increase elemental crafting currency caps. More information on the TWAB from last week. Fix an issue with the sleight of hand trait perk at incorrect crafting requirements. Here's the thing. It's getting the cap raise. So it went from 250 on those element caps to now 1,000, right? But again, next season, those are going to be removed. Those elements are going to be removed. It's just going to be Ascendant Alloy and neutral elements. And I felt like that clarification was kind of lost last week in the 12. I had some questions on it, but that's going to be the only 2 currencies next season. These elements, they're going away, okay? They're just raising the cap for now, all right? Gameplay, weapons. Fixed an issue where the explosive personality grenade launcher was not using the correct RPM stats for waveframes. Note that the crafting screen will still display the wrong RPM, which will be fixed in a future patch. The actual weapon item will have the correct stats, so I guess it's just gonna match other waveframes. I don't even know. Was it faster? Was it faster than before? Resonant alloy. Yeah. Yes. Resonant alloy. That's still gonna be a thing. I'm talking about the main components that go into changing up perks, the legendary elements, right? Yeah. Fix an issue where the logic ornament for the lament appears backwards. Fix an issue where the lament and roll on 0 were not networking their attacks correctly. Fix an issue where a faint box would be visible around the hipfire reticle when using Osteostriga or Forerunner. Okay, a faint box would be visible. I didn't even notice it. Okay, all glaives will now reach full charge after 4 successful projectile hits instead of 6. Oh! Glaive buff. Look, guys, here's the thing about glaives, man. I use them, especially like suppression builds, and then I will also use glaives. We use glaives for the caretaker day 1. I had to block. That was the only way I could survive. Fix an issue where the previous reduction of melee recharge rate for Graviton 4. Oh, yeah. And by the way, these glaives where you get a full charge, that translates to the exotic glaives, right? That's good. I'm not saying that the exotic glaives are by no means meta. They're still relatively shite. But again, I depended on it day 1. So I hate to just write them off as just being awful. And they also have some fun builds, right? Exotic glaives, I don't know. I still don't know how to feel about them. Fix an issue with the previous reduction of melee recharge rate for Graviton Forfeit was erroneously applying in PvE activities. Fix an issue where the exotic Titan helmet's Lordly Splendor would consume class ability energy upon death without spawning a sunspot, as in the case of taking enough damage to fully deplete your health while you still have any shields. Okay, I am too. I am very upset because hammers got hit. Sunspots got an unnecessary nerf. I think the nerf was uncalled for, and then this helmet got like a pre-nerf. Like, it wasn't even out long enough, and we still got a nerf on him. It's all in preparation for Solo 3.0. That's really what it is, man. We're gonna have Solo 3.0, and so yeah, sunspots especially will be back to what it is, but it's kind of sucky that it gets nerfed just to get buffed in the future. Players must first acquire Val the Disciple raid mods before they can be applied to armor from that raid. Fix an issue where some armor was not appearing in the appearance customization screen even after it had been unlocked with Synthweave. Fix an issue where some rare armor sets could be infused. Fix an issue where focusing an Umbra Ingram could sometimes give the wrong armor to Warlocks. Abilities. Boss combatants no longer take additional melee damage while frozen by stasis. The Sinnoh Titan Bastion Barricade now takes 20% increased damage from player sources. This damage bonus stacks with other sources of anti-emplacement damage, like the Hockey Breach Armament's origin trait or anti-barrier rounds. Oh, okay. From player sources. So, okay. All right. I guess Bungie thinks that the Bastion Barricade is getting a little too out of hand. Targets with Void Invisibility active now ping radar for 0.6 seconds every 3 seconds until invisibility ends. Normal radar visibility rules still apply. For example, double jumping or sprinting pings the radar. Wow. Hunter, so what are you going to do now? Man, I mean, look, I'm not trying to be mean. Y'all been mad crutching for the past few weeks, right? I mean, that's still great. A ping every 0.6 seconds. And if you double jump or sprint, it pings the radar. These changes are targeted specifically at PvP and don't affect the PvE sandbox. We believe that some frustration stems from the prevalence and will taper off over time as additional subclasses are brought into the 3.0 system, but wanted to address what we can before the next trials weekend. As always, we'll be on the lookout for feedback and we'll adjust where needed. Okay. And again, it says right here, the note, now that we've seen the feedback and data from the first weekend of trials in Season 16, we wanted to take a few steps to address a few outliers on Void 3.0 subclass kits. So primarily Invisibility and, of course, the Titan Bastion Barricade. Yeah. I mean, I think Invisibility is still going to be good. It's not going to be like you completely erase yourself from existence now. You know what I mean? Yes, the Titan, you take 20% increased damage from player sources. And it's interesting here. It almost seems like hockey armaments are going to be the choice, the weapon choice to take down barricades. You know, if Bungie really wants to deal with barricades, though, you want to get rid of all barricades. You want to get rid of Titan barricades and these Bastion barricades and these Titan overshields. It's simple. Buff Bastion. It will fix all of this. You can't hide behind your barricade. Fix an issue where the child of the old gods could damage some targets through immunity shields. While the child will not be put on timeout, it now knows better and has issued heartfelt apologies to all targets that it has damaged through immunity. We're thankful to have such a good child and are proud of them. So, okay. So, that's interesting. I didn't know that child of the old gods could actually damage targets through immunity shields. Wow. Platforms. PC fix an issue where some overlays could cause game crashes. Includes MSI Afterburner and Razer Cortex. All right, guys. That's your hot fix. Some changes, some noticeable changes. I think this last section here is going to be really noticeable for PvP. We'll have to see. Primarily that invisibility. I'm curious to see what invisibility feels like right now. And then, of course, the investment changes overall. The lifting of the increase in element caps. If you've got red weapons in your vault, which I do. I have so many red weapons in my vault. I've been saving them for this day. I'm about to go literally pull resources out of them and delete it so I can make some room in my vault. Go do that now, guys. And again, after this season, those legendary elements will be removed from the game. So, all right, guys, let's play the game. Luke, can I get a cut up?
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.